Welcome, everybody, to episode number 12 of the Journal of the Scots Book Club. And it is an epic one, and I'm in my official Lego exclusive shirt. Can be found at Target, part of that collection. One of the things, for those who know me the best, know that there's really a couple things that I really like about Lego. Number one in it's not even close, is I'm definitely all about the minifigures. So for the book club today, I am talking about the Lego minifigure visual history. It's the most recent edition that came out. I probably should have looked that up. I guess it has 2020. So I think right at the tail end of 2020. I didn't get it to this last year. I've read through it just a little bit, but and I'll do a close up near the end of some of my favorite minifigures. It really brought back a lot of nostalgia. It comes with the orange, not in the library edition, so be very careful. And actually, we'll get to that with the Amazon reviews, but it comes with the orange spaceman. Everybody's trying to get different colors of the spaceman. Recently, the CMF, or Collectible Minifigures edition, just came out with the torso for the purple spaceman, and now people are freaking out, ordering purple helmets and arms and all sorts of stuff. You just don't have the oxygen tank quite yet for the purple spaceman, but I thought I'd kind of showcase some of my collection right here, from the orange spaceman to blue. I mean, I have just about all of the colors. Um, this is probably one of the oldest figures in my collection, is this shell gas attendant. That is one of the first sets. I don't even really remember if I can build that entire shell station, because we played with it so much, the pieces are just kind of in there. But I always remembered the figure we have, and I thought I'd include the Exxon guy as well. So a lot of gas companies had a hold on kids' imaginations back in the day. I think he was also part of the town as well. And then I did like a foot soldier from the castle era. So I believe this was probably 80s, maybe early 90s as well. And then a fun chef who's been hanging out in my mock back there. So just a great selection. There's a huge gap from the later 2000s, like in that 2005 to um, to almost like 2015. I have a big gap. I've been slowly collecting figures. I mean, I could plop through probably a lot of Star Wars figures, but still kind of working through that. So that was probably the really neat thing about, if you really want to get a deep history, the pictures are stunning going through this. So it's Lego minifigure, a visual history, new edition, and it's got a whole line of figures. I like how they do the Paradisa. Now I know this particular in 2020 was the 40th anniversary of the trains theme. It also, I believe, was I think the anniversary of, I think, some of the space as well. So they ended up doing an exclusive orange spaceman for this particular setup because they did the 40th train anniversary earlier that year. Yeah, so the contents actually go by year. So the 70s all the way through 2020 in the orange spaceman, which they released in this book. So just tons of stuff. It's so cool, bringing to life. It talks about like what the actual minifigure is, the process of making them, which is really neat. And then it just kicks it off by the particular segment. Um, I should have kicked off in the 80s. I do have the pirate, and I do have the forestman as well. Lots of great memories. Here's the 80s. They're talking about Shell, and then they've got the ambulance person and all sorts of stuff. I think at one point I had some of these really older heads that were just terrible. I've got a lot of these. So if you see, I've got a lot of this style stuff. So this was 82, Town and Space. I do have a couple of these. This is 1983, this castle. right here. My sister, I think, was into stuff like 83, 84. Definitely. Oh, Big Castle. 84 was a big year for Castle. Um, that is great stuff in space. Woof. Just tons of stuff, and it goes over like certain pieces were kind of new, like the spaceman getting actual what was it called? Oh, little jetpacks that you could build, like buildable. It jumps into Star Wars. So in the 90s, I think they started Star Wars. See if that's accurate here. The Forestman Lego Castle. So probably like late 80, like in the late 80s and early 90s. Oh, introduction of first skirted female minifigure. And the finale of the Forestman sub-theme in 1990, which I definitely partook in. Blacktron, I was definitely big in that. The Wolf Pack. Some of this too, I think so in like the early 90s, so I was still in high school, so I think I got a couple sets, but I started to kind of fade out, and most of the sets were being purchased by my brother at the time. So yeah, I kind of got out of it. So really in 1993, I don't think I have anything from this era. It was like the Ice Planet era, like more pirates, the Kingdom ones with the crown. 1995 parodies, didn't get into any of that. So I don't know, I've got a lot of collecting to do, I guess. Just so cool. And then here we go. So the world of Lego minifigures changed forever in 1999 with the release of the first Lego Star Wars sets, the first licensed minifigure theme ever produced by Lego Group, and proved to be a massive success, spawning video games, animated shorts, books, and more in years to come. So yeah, they had Maul, Jar Jar Binks. So it was prequel area. So that is when Star Wars began, and then of course they started rolling through lots of original trilogy stuff. So man, I missed out. I had dropped away kind of out of Lego. I think I would have I would have continued to collect Lego Star Wars for sure. If I really kind of if I wasn't into like college and like video games and all that stuff, and we didn't have the YouTube of today, and I probably would have stayed into it. So, of course, every episode I like to leave with some Amazon. Oh, and some quick news. It is again, this was $40 retail. It's been on sale quite a bit. Anywhere from like 20 to 30% off is a pretty decent deal. Again, you're getting an exclusive minifigure, so I would say that thing's worth like $6 to $10 just by itself, and then it's a great, really high quality hardcover book. I know it's hard to kind of like take away from the set budgets, but I think this one in particular is definitely worth it. So it's just over $31 on Amazon today. Again, normally it's 40. And let's get into some reviews. Always have to get into some fun reviews. So one thing that really happens is just be very careful when you're ordering this. There's a library version, and then there's the normal hard copy in paperbacks. The library edition does not have a minifigure, so a lot of the reviews are do not order, does not include minifigure. I mean, just be very careful, right? Because I think that's a reduced rate book, and so people order it, it doesn't have the minifig. So a lot of complaints on that. So I'm going to skip through those types of complaints. Here we go. Mr. P. Walker, A History of Minifigures. This book was from my collection of Lego books. Very interesting to see different minifigures over the past few years. Wonderful, perfect for the older person interested in Lego. Bought for a work colleague for Christmas. Lovely pressy option. Just a lot of people kind of salivating over it. Great book, interesting and well priced. There we go. You don't hear that about Lego very often. Let's see here. See all reviews. Um, Just a lot of like, make sure you select. Let's see. Oh, here we go. C. Alejandro Yu. Love this book and the Orange Spaceman minifigure as a Lego AFOL and collector, like me. Here we go. Despite it, it's a bit expensive in my opinion. I couldn't go wrong with this book. It arrived on time in good condition as described. The contents of this book are very detailed and colorful, so I'm happy with the purchase and I recommend. A fun little guide and an awesome minifigure. I'm not gonna lie, I bought this. Everybody does that. I'm not lying, but I bought this for the minifigure. Don't we all, right? It's the minifigure. We're here for the minifigures, guys. Not gonna lie, I originally bought this just for the Orange Spaceman. My copy came with one. After flipping through the pages, I am instantly captivated and overwhelmed with nostalgia. Here we are. I'm overwhelmed with nostalgia too. Great little read, packed with lots of information. Definitely recommend to any AFOL. With that, thank you so much for joining Journalist Scott's Book Club episode number 12, and I expect you to be there in episode number 13. Check you later.